Good afternoon everyone and welcome to Northumberland Zoo on YouTube. My name is Maxine, I'm one of the managers here at the zoo. What a busy couple of weeks. It's been the Easter holidays, my goodness me. I don't know if you've been and visited, but thank you so much for supporting us. It was hectic. We're almost through it now, so we can all take a bit of a breather and kind of get back to what we were doing. The weather has been interchanging. We've had some really lovely sunny days and then we've had a lot of less lovely sunny days, but it's been nice enough that our honeybees have been out and about and they've been active, so it's not going to be long before we unveil them. Now obviously the weather has set us back massively and we were planning on opening our brand new domestics area ready for Easter, but unfortunately because it was just so muddy we just could not put the animals out and we didn't want to rush trying to open it just for the sake of Easter. So we've decided to put that back a little bit and we'll let you know on our YouTube channel and social media when that area will be open, because the keepers have been doing some great work on the paddocks and in the goat paddock, getting it finished, and it looks amazing, so I can't wait for you guys to see it. Anyways, I'm down at the bee apiary for a reason, and this honeybee apiary is one area that will be open in the domestics area when we do open it, but for some reason this week we ended up with another invasive species on site. We get our weekly veg delivery. It's 190 kilos of veg that we go through for all of our different animals, and as one of our volunteers was prepping some cauliflower for the capybara and peeling the leaves back gingerly, inside they had a bit of a shock and they launched the cauliflower across the kitchen, and inside there was an Asian Hornet kind of nestling in there, a female, and she was alive. Obviously she's a stowaway, hopefully she didn't make it into there at the veg stand, but we reckon that she came straight from fridge, from the truck, from the delivery, from France, so we're hoping that that was her way in. Although it's not good news, at least we managed to catch her and identify her, and Asian Hornets are quite a serious business. They are an incredibly dangerous species that love to prey on honeybees. So they're known as a hawking predator, which means that they kind of hover above the hives and they'll actually catch honeybees in flight. And sometimes they'll have a bit of a team thing working out when they've got a whole hive of them, that when one of them leaves its kind of podium above a hive, another one moves in straight away within a couple of seconds to take its position to continue catching them. They're predators, they eat bees, they eat lots of things, crickets, all kinds of stuff as well. So they're a very dangerous invasive species and they're causing havoc in honeybee colonies across Europe because they're from Southeast Asia. So we caught this wasp up, we identified it. I contacted the bee net, who are the people you're meant to contact when you find an invasive species. The link is in the description. And literally within 3 hours, I had a gentleman drive all the way up from Wakefield to come and collect her, because that was such a serious issue. We haven't had a confirmed sighting since 2019 in the UK of this species, and obviously British beekeepers are worried sick that they're going to eventually make it into the UK. And if we had not really been paying attention to what we did and we just fed the veg out without thinking about it, we could have inadvertently let her out, and then obviously our bees would be at risk. So it is quite a serious thing, and it's quite worrying how easy it is for these types of invasive species to get into this country. Obviously we had the European rhinoceros beetle a few weeks ago, who still lives here actually. He's contained and we do an invasive species talk with him in our mini bee shows, but it's so easy to get these animals into the country, so a little bit worrying. But she's in the right place now. The British Beekeeping Society are actually doing a little write-up on her and our kind of story of finding her as well, so that'll be published in May's issue as well. So it's pretty mad, really, what's happened. But yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting for you guys to see that. Obviously, if you ever see anything in your garden that you don't think is normal or you're not too sure about, just ask people, just ask the bug groups. There's the Bug Life. They'll happily identify anything for you, and they would rather know than not know, especially if it's an invasive species. Anyways, staying on the bee front, we're going to be meeting up with Jeff today, who's going to teach us how to make a bumblebee house. So all the bumblebees are starting to come out of hibernation now, and they always need refuges and places to live. Now bumblebees are solitary, they're quite different to honeybees, so they don't live in big hives, but they live independently. They live in little tufts of grass, they like to live in like little branches and stuff like that. So you can actually make a little artificial hide in your garden for a bumblebee if you would like to. So Jeff's going to show us how to make some, because he's already been making a few along next to our new domestics area. and then maybe you guys can make one at home, and it'd be really nice because so much of our wild spaces are being lost. So every little bit thing that we can give back, especially to our pollinators, is vital. So we're going to catch up with Jeff now. So when you get into the domestics area, we've got the brand new goat tower here, and if you look across the way, Jeff's been planting this whole area up. We've got wildflowers in here, we've got all kinds of stuff, and he's built these interesting little structures down here, and these are the bumblebee hives. So we're just going to catch up with him now because he's got one more to make.
Right, these are our new bee little huts. These are mainly for solitary bees or bumblebees, not the honeybees. The honeybees, obviously, they're well looked after in the apiary, but we need to encourage and give food and sustenance to our native bees. We'll show you how we've made one, and you can mix it up a bit, but the idea is to give them a bit of shelter, something to make a nest with, and an entry and exit that's safe for them and sort of waterproof it. So we're just going to make one now. What we've done, we've already dug a hole because we thought we'd get ahead of ourselves. So we've just put the plant pot into there, just roughly dig around it with a little bit of excess. We've got some mesh. You can use any sort of mesh, wear gloves, so not like I'm doing because it is pretty sharp, this stuff, but we've just manipulated a little bit to fit into there. And then we've got a bit of piping here, just any old piping, roughly about 30 centimetres to 50 centimetres long ish, but we've drilled some holes in there, and that's to let the water escape a little bit when it's under there. So what we'll do is put the pipe into the channel that we've dug and a little bit poking out above the ground, and we'll feed the pipe in some little holes of the mesh that we've made and just plonk that there like that. So that goes in there. This is a terracotta pot, but you can use plastic, whatever. As long as it's got a hole in the top, that's fine, that's all we need. Connor, can you do the honours? And we're just going to put some nest material in, which we've just got some straw here, nice and dry, and we're just going to fill that in there. Just loosen it up a bit for them. We'll put that over the pipe, over the mesh, and that'll just sit like that. Now we'll secure it just with the earth that we've already dug out. So as long as it's loose a little bit, so there is a little bit of drainage underneath, that'll help so they don't get flooded out. So I'm just going to fill the gap just around, trying to do this quick for the camera. Putting this under pressure and leave the pipe exposed there. That's the entry and exit, and obviously they need a little bit of air around there, but we don't want the rain to go in. So what I've done, I've just got some loose gravel here, some of that there. You can use anything really, just even them out like that. I've got a bit of slate, you can use anything flat, anything like that at all. Put that on the top so there's a little bit of a gap for air and not too much for other predators. And then we've got a nice little paving brick there, so we're just going to put that on there just to secure that, and it's as simple as that. We've got about 200 different species of solitary bees in the UK, and we've actually got 24 species of bumblebees in the UK. So these are the guys that pollinate everything. 80% of all your crops in your garden, your flowers, your vegetables, is all pollinated by wild bees. So we can't rely on the honeybees, so we've got to look after the little fellas, and everything else falls into place really.
So, on to guinea pigs. The guinea pigs settled in really well just this last week. Unfortunately, on night one, Sheriff Diesel ended up with a bit of a scratch on his eye. So he had a bit of a cloudy eye the first morning that he was here, which was really frustrating. So either he's caught it on a bit of hay or on a bit of wood, or one of the girlies has had a bit of a go at him. So he's been having eye drops twice a day. So obviously we're having to go in there and catch him twice a day, which he wasn't massively keen on, obviously, but he's a really good boy. So obviously I don't think that's really helping them settle in too well. They've had access for about 4 days now, but they still haven't come out. So the best thing I've got for you is a little photo of them kind of near the entrance hole, but not actually venturing out yet. But the exhibit looks amazing, and it's up to them whenever they want to come out, and I don't want to force them out in the paddock because then they'll just be scattering and running. So it's going to take them some time to get used to their new paddock, but watch this space and I'll keep you updated on it. Anyways, it's just a short and sweet one from me this week. It is the Easter holidays, so we are super busy, but thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't done already, please do subscribe to our channel and like this video. We really appreciate it. Right then, we'll see you next week.